Welcome to Week 5 of the North American LCS Spring Split. And here comes Skara. Damage out on Sneaky, and Cutie Pie survives.
So last time Skara destroyed me pretty heavily mid lane. I want to return the favor to him this time.
They have to be happy about that one.
I think it will definitely be one of our easier games, but that doesn't mean we're going to win.
Wow, Boy is just getting fed right now. Elf bars of XDG are completely shredding. Curse looks to make it 2-0.
I'm really looking forward to play against TSM because of my fellow European, Bjergsen.
Let's see how many skill shots he landed. If you can shoot the spell.
He hit it, hit the slow. He's got 1 HP. Steal the health back. The Ignite goes down.
Well played by Bjergsen.
The TSM takes the head-to-head versus CLG.
TSM versus CLG is always hype.
Welcome to Week 5, Day 2 of the North American League Championship Series Spring Split. We're coming to you live from our studio in California, and the audience seems to be pretty rearing to go. Hey everyone, I'm David Freak Turley. With me is Sam Kobe Hartman-Kensler. How is it going?
I'm doing good. Hey everyone, I'm here with David Freak Turley. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. How
I never
are you?
introduce you. It's always
you. Don't. Well, would you like to again?
I'd like to know how you're doing.
I'm doing great. Kobe, how are you?
Good. Everything's good.
Good. All right, guys, we got 4 more LCS games coming your way, starting with XDG taking on Curse. But first, hashtag LCS big plays. Let's do it. Let's look at some of the jaw-dropping moments coming out of yesterday's games. We got this tweet from @TheElkSpeaks. Grand Skyfall into a 4-for-0 fight at 30 minutes for TSM. What a play. Here's your number 3.
Cross the pillar. Oh,
Skyfall.
the Skyfall almost could be 4 men. Right in the middle of it. Wow, Pee-wee Kid gets obliterated. Cutie Pie's trying to get out. No damage from the 4-0 with Caitlyn. Cruiser's going to go down. Oh my God, still going around with Kha'Zix. Can he get a 4th? Cruiser goes down to the hands of Special.
And the Skyfall. Those are hard to land, Freak. Hard to coordinate those. @Dusk says, even his teacher calls him Zion Spartan. That 3 versus 1. What a beast. Here's your number 2.
Zion Spartan's going to
He's
switch
got
up his
red buff
lanes.
right now. Oh, it's going to be too many people for Zion to handle, though. Let's see how he does it.
I think he could still get one out of this. Smithy needs to be very careful.
Got
Zion's a big boy. There's 1. This could be easily 2 and 3 for Zion Spartan. He goes back for the box. That's 2. Zuna's in the wrong spot. This could be 3. Not enough lifesteal, but that was an empowered shot for half his health.
That was pretty impressive. I like seeing Jax come out and dumpster people. That was a nice game overall. Next up, @Marissa Moody LOL says that dig versus TSM Baron was like something out of Scooby-Doo. Ruh-roh, here's your number 1 big play.
They're going to look to try and get a catch. They got him.
Oh, that was so unfortunate. He jumped right into it.
Yeah, he thought he was safe, was trying to ward up the Baron area, but that's that Thresh vision control. Are they going to do it again?
No! Don't go back into the brush.
Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. The other team probably gets Baron.
Cutie Pie, don't do it. Cutie Pie, don't do it. Cutie Pie, don't do it. No! 3rd time's a charm. Oh my God, they bring him into the pit. What a flash!
And they would have gotten it 2 if it weren't for those pesky kids.
It would have been so clean if Bjergsen didn't run into that Caitlyn ultimate. It wasn't actually on him. So.
I think Crumbs knocked him in, actually. I've seen that thing like 4 times now, and the more I look at it, the more I'm like, oh, he vault breaker him into the wall.
So close.
Crumbs is apparently amazing. No, guys, keep your responses coming. They've been awesome. Thank you for the LCS.
Yeah, send us those highlights from today's games @LOA Esports, and be sure to use that hashtag LCS Big Plays and share your favorites with us.
And while you're at Twitter, send us your answer to our Twitter question of the day. What North American LCS player champion combo would you be most afraid to meet on the Rift, and why? And again, we'll be giving away the skin codes for Heartseeker Ash to the viewers whose tweets we heart the most on air later in our broadcast.
You send us your most witty, insightful responses to @LOA Esports, and this time you use the hashtag just LCS.
Yeah. Big plays are for the things in the game. This is for the stuff out of the game. Now, for a look ahead at today's action, let's send it over to Riv and Jat.
Thank you very much, Freak and Kobe. Hello, I am Rivington Biz in the 3rd, and with me is Joshua Jat Leesman once again. Welcome back to the desk.
Yeah, I'm doing well, but as Kobe would like to know, how are you doing, Riv?
We're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
The play-by-plays are usually the one to throw it over, but
such a selfless role.
Thanks for the credit. Yeah. The big news of the LCS is Team Solo Mid looks to be unstoppable in their march towards the NA LCS records for the most consecutive wins.
Yeah, TSM managed to fend off Dignitas and clinch their 10th straight victory. Now they have their eyes on that 13-game record held by Cloud9. Bjergsen also added 9 kills in the game yesterday, and Dyrus didn't die for his 3rd game in a row.
Well, we'll see if they can make it 11 games against an old rival who are showing new strength. Counterlogic Gaming.
CLG finally has its full roster, and they took a decisive win over Cloud9 yesterday. They showed strong communication and the ability to make responses to pressure. So these are things they're going to need when they face TSM at the end of the day.
Yeah, taking out first place is going to be a big deal. While CLG moved up to share 3rd with Dignitas, Team Coast snapped a 6-game losing streak to move up and tie XDG for 7th place.
Yeah, and Zion Spartan deserves a lot of credit for that victory yesterday. He helped carry the team to victory. He tanked up a lot of stuff on Jax, and he also had several one-man assaults on their base that match. Jax is a champion who doesn't see a lot of love from the LCS players. Zion Spartan showed he can work.
Well, he definitely got some love from the LCS big plays. And Coast will be playing later today against a team who continues to introduce new champs to the NA LCS, Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, Snoopy's Volibear was very successful in that game. It gave the team first blood. It kept the other enemy team off balance. He kept a lot of pressure on, and I'm really wondering, we've seen Soraka, Urgot, and now Volibear from Evil Geniuses. Curse is the other team that breaks out a lot of stuff, but what's next for EG?
They can bring out anything they want.
Yeah.
So looking past today's LCS games, tonight we'll be bringing you the North American Challenger Series Final, which is going to be featuring LMQ versus Complexity Black.
Yeah, and for those of you who haven't been following the series, LMQ has been looking incredibly strong and has yet to lose a match. Complexity Black was formerly Determined Gaming as well. They went up against Evil Geniuses in the spring promotion tournament, and both these teams want to get into the LCS.
It's going to be one hell of a battle. First, let's see how the teams stack up coming into today. In first place and showing no sign of slowing is Team Solo Mid.
Yeah, then in second with 8 wins and 3 losses, we have Cloud9. After that, it's a tie for 3rd place with Counterlogic Gaming and Team Dignitas.
Then it's a tie for 5th place with Curse and Evil Geniuses, both with 4 wins, 7 losses.
Yeah, and sharing that 7th place spot is a tie again between Coast and XDG.
And we'll see how that changes after our 4 matches today, starting with XDG versus Curse. Then Cloud9 looks to settle a Week 1 score with a rematch against Dignitas.
Yeah, after that, we have 2 teams hoping to ride a wave of momentum from yesterday, Evil Geniuses versus Coast. And we conclude the LCS day with 2 old adversaries facing off. The show match, really huge match between CLG and TSM.
And after that, we have the best of 3 showdown between LMQ and Complexity Black in our NA Challenger Series Finals. We'll be hosting that live in our studio, so do not miss it. Remember, you can get the entire season schedule at lolesports.com, as well as in-depth interviews, box scores, videos for all of this season's games, and statistics sure to make you hit at your next dinner party.
You can also grab your tickets to attend one of our game day tapings and see your favorite pro player in person. Just click on the tickets link for all the details.
And after you secure your spot, let us know who you think will win today's games. Click on matches at the top right, go to Week 5, and lock in your vote. Now let's send it over to Freak and Kobe, who are with 2 guys on a collision course in the mid lane.
Thank you very much, Rue. We want to welcome Cloud9's High and Dignitas' Skara to the desk. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Good. Doing pretty good.
Good. So coming in, you guys are facing off in about an hour in our second game of the day. High, you first, and Skara, how do you feel about this match?
Well, I don't know. It went pretty bad for me last time around. I don't really want to remember that, but hopefully this time around it goes much better. So if you'd mind, take it a little bit easy on me. You know?
I'm hoping it's more like last time, but it probably will be a pretty tough game for us.
Now, last time you got Gragas, Skara.
Yes.
And that is definitely a champion that you know inside and out, one of your favorite champions. I want to know, in the laning phase, is there any way that you can actually pressure Gragas or take advantage of him to sort of do anything up against him just in laning phase early?
I think it's all like up to just skill. Like if you don't play your champion well, like I think there's a lot of champions that can beat Gragas in lane, but most of the people don't play the champion like that great. And or better than I do on Gragas, which is why I win the matchup.
That's a good answer. I didn't expect you to give out any secret weakness for Gragas.
And to be fair to that, like we saw Faker play Riven against Dada's Gragas and kind of pooped all over him. So like what he is saying is right. Riven can win, and I think does have the favor against Gragas. But I played it pretty bad. I was too scared of him early game when I should have just jumped on him, and then he hit 6, kind of killed me, and the game was kind of over from there for me. So it's pretty accurate for him to say that's a pretty skilled matchup because Faker kind of pooped on Daddy.
He kind of showed it. Okay, so then I have a question for you guys to press you further on mid lane. So High, you've been a professional mid laner for about a year. Before then, you were a professional jungler. Now, Skara, you've been a mid lane for freaking ever. You've been around for a very long time in the competitive scene. Is there anything you think people don't know because you have this wealth of experience in the mid lane
I actually don't think experience matters like too much going into every season because the game changes at such a fast rate that you really have to just be very adaptive. So being like very experienced doesn't give me too much of a benefit. In fact, I feel like a lot of times people saying that a person has like more experience than the other person shouldn't really come in as a factor in terms of like 1v1 matchups or just like playing the game out. And if anything, like Faker is a great example because he started playing competitively this year, and he's like world champion, OG and 2-time champion as well.
So speaking of the ways that the game changes, Lulu is a very popular mid champion right now. Has either of you put in enough games on Lulu to walk us through the pros and cons of her as a mid laner specifically in the current state of the game?
Well, a good reason for why she's so strong is because of her passive. A lot of people, you have two options of building Lulu. One is the way I'd like to call it the Zamfira way, because he's the one that does it. He likes to go magic penetration on Lulu. He rushes sorcerer boots and kind of just auto attacks you to death with his passive. And the other way is the Korean way technically. They like going Grail and more defensive items and less magic penetration and just kind of harass you down with EQ. But she's a pretty annoying champion relative to the fact of her 1v1s. She's super strong in that. And if you build a tank jungler or like a damage jungler, like full damage, the Lulu makes her super tanky. So then it's just like her lack of damage is made up for her jungler's damage. I don't know. She's a pretty annoying champion to play versus personally. But
Scar, what are your thoughts on how you bring Lulu into a team?
I think she's the next support utility mid laner. Like, you go back into some old seasons, you saw Ori see a lot of play, and Ori's always been something that's like support utility. And I think Lulu's just the next iteration. She synergizes really well with tanky top lane right now, and that's like the current top lane meta. And she synergizes really well with a lot of different options. Like, she just brings a lot to the team, so you're able to run a bunch of different things because she's on the team. And she has no terrible matchups, and so she's like a very safe blind pick as well.
Oh, cool. Okay, so then coming into this, of course, we have a match at the end of the day, TSM versus CLG. You guys have both played these teams individually yesterday. How do you think these two teams are going to fare? Hi, we'll start with you.
well, I'm going to have to vote for TSM, obviously. They have the more dominating score at the moment. But we did play against CLG yesterday. They played very well, and off of what I saw of the TSM Dignitas game, TSM was playing a little bit sloppy. They won the game, but it was a little bit rough, whereas CLG beat us more dominantly than TSM beat Dignitas. So if results show and they play the same way they did yesterday, CLG should win. But potential. Let's see how that goes.
Potential. Dignitas, how about you?
I think CLG is a team that just snowballs really, really well. Like they know how to take a lead and just roll with it. So I think, like Dexter said, everything kind of revolves around the early game for them. Like I feel like if they don't die going to level 6, then like they've got the game, not in the bag per se, but it very much in their favor. But if they can get like impacted off like an early drag fight or like the second blue buff or something like that, like going to a small skirmish where TSM comes out ahead, CLG has a really hard time recovering from that, I feel.
So when we had Dexter up here, we interviewed him and we asked him about the matchup, and he said he thinks that Link can really handle Bjergsen well in the mid lane. What are your guys' thoughts about that mid lane matchup?
Well, I don't think Link will die 1v1 per se. It's very hard for you to actually die 1v1 mid unless you're trying to kill the other person as well, or you're just underestimating how much damage they do. But I think the main thing is that you're going to have to watch out for mid lane. Bjergsen likes getting Adwin to gank for him. He will get blue buffs whenever he wants, and he kind of gets the lane revolved around him or the game revolved around him. So if TSM gets Bjergsen rolling and gets the game going in their favor, it's very bad for CLG. But if Link doesn't die and Doublelift can beat bottom lane, which is going to be a very interesting matchup actually, bottom.
Oh, yeah.
The 2v2, which are supposedly the best bottom lane in America. But yeah, they just gotta watch out for the mid and bot lane. Top lane is gonna be a farm fest, I imagine. But
Scar, you smiled and nodded at that one.
Yeah, like there's not much to say about the top lane. Like I feel like there could be something that happens top lane, but I feel like bans and picks will make it so top lane stays pretty stale this game. And so the TSM snowballs their mid lane pretty much, and CLG snowballs their bot lane. So it'll be interesting to see how exactly like which strategy prevails. Like I feel like it's close to a 50-50, but I also have to give the edge to TSM by a little bit.
Okay.
It just depends how the early game plays out. Like the first 6 levels would be crucial for this game.
All right, guys, thank you very much, and good luck in your match today. Hope both of you win. I know only one can, but we'll hope for both.
I don't think that
somehow.
works that way,
Yeah.
Freak.
Magic will be in the air tonight, guys. And of course, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to dive into our first match of the day. Last time they met, Curse took the win against XDG, but we'll find out if history can repeat itself when we come back.